Shalom. Shalom. Ahab wa baraka. In other words, peace, love, and blessings. All license plate. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Wahar, Rakakodash, and double honors to the elder apostles, the prophets, and the teachers that have been bringing out this 100% truth the last 30 plus years, because as you can see now, it's going to start making a difference in your daily life, knowing the truth and not knowing the truth. But tonight's class is about Jacob's trouble, because we're always talking about going into Jacob's trouble. Well, we're going into it right now. And, I mean, these are the beginnings of sorrows, if you want to say it like that, in Matthew, I think it's 24 and 8 or 9. But we're going into Jacob's trouble right now, and if you can't see that, like I said, then you're either delusional or you're in denial. But that's not what this class is about. This class is about being saved out of it. Dang it, my tea already cooled down. I wanted to drink a big fat hot glass of tea out there. There we go. All right. Let's get started. Let's start with Jacob's trouble. How about that? Let's start with Jacob's trouble. So, Jeremiah chapter 30, KJV, NLT parallel. I was going to get a KJV, NLT parallel, but I'll just get the KJV. Okay? All right. And then we also have, let's just get into it. Let's go right to the point. So, you know what? Because, you know what? This is perfect. Earlier today, Menachos Akbar was bringing out a live class, and I was watching it, and he was going into a comment. He was going into a comment about what one guy made, saying that we weren't going to go into Jacob's trouble. And there it is. How am I going to find it, though? Hold on, guys. Let's find that comment real quick. Because right away, I'm gonna show you a few things. And then, of course, Menachos Akbar already did a really good class on it. But I want to bring out that comment since how are you going to be saved out of something that you're not going into it? So let's just get this real quick.
It's from Rickamo Bennett 6839. I'll show it to you again. Rickamo Bennett 6839. And this is from the video Esau's Identity, Sisters in Jacob's Trouble, and World Rulership. Now what I find odd is, and this always happens, you got different people that pop up. You see the title says Jacob's Trouble. You don't believe in Jacob's Trouble, but you're going to come on the video to talk your shit.
Okay, just really quick, because I love this guy. So I have to show his channel. He's one of the, I would say, one of the best teachers in our generation. So, and me and him are about the same age. So that's what I mean by our generation, in our time frame. Not 100-year generation like the Bible speaks of, but you know, like how we have our little mini generations, like the 80s and 90s, the 2000s, and you know, the generation X, Y, and Z. But anyway, without mumbling too much, this is the elder Menachos Akbar. Oh, come on.
It's like people will see it.
And that's his channel right there. Now, guaranteed, if you're studying with GMS and you don't know who this is, you haven't been studying with GMS very long. GMS, South Carolina, 08. If you want to watch this class in its entirety, it's a response. There will not be any Jacob's trouble, be at peace. Okay? So let's just go ahead and get back into it. I just wanted to show you guys Menachos Akbar's channel. Like I said, he's one of the best teachers of our generation right now. I mean, at this time, the Most High, you can tell that Yahweh is dealing with him. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And if you can't, well, you know, Yahweh puts blindness on the people that he doesn't want to see. That he doesn't want seeing the truth. So that's all there is to it. Let's go.
Esau in the title, and then they'll come on the comment board to argue and say they don't believe the so-called white man is Esau. Okay? Yep. Brother Tazabah said, from GMS Tazabah, to get to heaven, got to go through hell. So he put a scripture up. This is Acts 14:22. Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of the Most High. And we're going to go through a whole lot of hell before we go into the kingdom.
And there you have it right there.
Now, read this comment, and I wind up reading it more than once.
Okay, let's get the comment.
This Rickamo Bennett 6839 says, family, be at peace. There will not be any Jacob's trouble. We are done with our punishment. Jacob's trouble is for those who troubled Jacob. Be at peace, family, in capital letters at the bottom. And it's really dumb. It's childish, it's immature, it's irresponsible. Number one.
All right, so now we got that out the way. That guy literally said that there will not be any Jacob's trouble. Well, the problem with that is I want to read to you what it says in the actual Bible. So we are going to go back to Jeremiah. We're going to start at chapter 30, verse 5. You know what? Let's start at verse 4. Let's start at verse 4 because that's where all the meat is. Let's get that meat. Let's get that context. Let's see who this is directed towards. Are you ready? Let's get it. This is Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 5. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, or for thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Whoops, I'm sorry. I said I'm going to start at verse 4. I apologize, Salaki. I'm getting too excited. Let's do it again. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 4, and it reads, and these are the words that Yahweh spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. Verse 5, for thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Thus saith the Lord. Okay? Now, verse 6. Ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do you see every man with his hand, every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Every man. Oh, no. So how are you? Okay, but let me read the next verse before I start talking. Alas, for the day is great. So that none is like it. It is indeed. Even is an old English word. I tell you every time. That word even, it means indeed. So indeed, the time of Jacob's trouble. Let me read it again since I chewed it up, having to tell you what even means again. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is indeed the time of Jacob's trouble. But he shall be saved out of it. So how is it that if there's no Jacob's trouble, how are you going to be saved out of it? How are you going to be saved out of it? Let's go back a little bit, though. It says, every man, like a man travaileth with child. It's like you're giving birth to a child. You know why it compares every man giving birth to a child? Because through great travail, through great pain, you will be delivered. What is a woman in travail? It's a woman giving childbirth. So through great pain, you shall be delivered. That's why it's like every man's bent over pale, like, because everybody's dealing with this trouble. Everybody's got to deal with it. And you can see it coming in like the wildfires in California. I just put that up as a precursor because, I mean, just to show you guys, we are at the beginning. What about Maui? What about North Carolina with the floods? What about all the other things that keep happening that are just out of the ordinary? And while all this is happening, Tibet had a 7.2 earthquake like, 3-4 days ago? A week ago now? It's going down. It is going down. In fact, let's stick with the fact that we're going to be saved out of it for a minute. Let's stick with that fact that we're going to be saved out of it, because the whole point of this class is to prove that the children of Israel are going to be not only afflicted since the time we got here until we get removed from here. So the affliction never stops. But what happens in Jacob's trouble is they increase it to a point where it's never been this bad before. And I'm thinking, damn, nigga skin suits, nigga skin boots, slavery, throwing people into the ocean with chains around their necks, and it's going to get worse than that. It's got to get worse than that. And you guys say that that's not going to happen? Even the scriptures are telling you every man's going to be bent over like he's given birth, but only a few shall be delivered. We all know that 2/3 of you have to go and perish therein, right? What is it? 2/3 of you have to be cut off and die, but 1/3 shall live, right? So let's get that really quick. Let's get that. Let's get it in the NLT. Yeah. This is Zechariah chapter 13, 8 and 9. We'll get some meat on that, if it allow me. Well, let me just read it real quick. 2/3 of the people in the land will be cut off and die, says Yahweh. But 1/3 will be left there, will be left in the land. I will bring that group, the group that is left, the ones that are saved, the ones that won't be in Jacob's trouble, is what you're saying. Well, let's look at this real carefully. It finally uploaded after I started reading it. Okay, so let's go through this again. Let's get this again. 2/3 of the people in the land will be cut off and die, says the Lord. But 1/3 will be left in the land. There will be no Jacob's trouble. Well, okay, there's the 1/3 that's left in the land, the people that aren't going to have anything happen to them. But there's affliction, right? Okay. I will bring that group through the fire and make them pure. Gold is refined in the fire. So he's going to burn the impurities out of you. How do you burn the impurities? So he's going to have trials and tribulations through your life to teach you how to be a righteous person, for the lack of better words. You got to be joking. Oh, you got to be joking. This is funny, though. NLT, why you guys keep moving me? All right, so I'm just going to... I'm going to keep reading. I will refine them like silver and purify them like gold. Beautiful. That you're going to be burnt in the fire. And you know what? I have that right here in my precepts. Let me get it real quick. Sirach chapter 2, KJV. But this is how we're going to be saved. So, how are you going to be saved out of something that you don't even go in? First of all. Second of all, how are you going to be saved? Third of all, how are you going to not be afflicted when it says that I'm going to bring that group that I'm going to keep through a fire? So, let me show you a little something, since I don't know who the guy was, but I hate it when people have never read the Bible before, but they know exactly what the Bible's speaking of. It's just crazy. Okay. So I will refine. It says, I will bring that group through the fire and make them pure. I will refine them like silver and purify them like gold. So let me read something to you real quick. This is a go-to. Everybody in Israel that studies, even half the time, should know about Sirach chapter 2, 1 through, you could actually 7. So let's get it. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Okay, so you're going to be tempted. So now we're getting into some refinery right now. Because now we're going to see what happens when you get tempted. Set thy heart right, constantly endure, make not haste in time of trouble. So these are trials and tribulations. And he's telling you to be patient. In fact, in the next verse, he's actually going to tell you to be patient. But to make not haste means to not be so quick to take things into your own hands. Next verse, verse 3. And it reads, cleave unto him, depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. To cleave unto the Most High is to fear him, and to fear the Most High is to keep his commandments. Oh, brother, so now we got to keep 613 commandments, brother. You can't keep, you know what? You cannot keep, I'll keep all the commandments. I'll keep all the commandments. No, you can't keep all the commandments. But what it's saying is that you're going to cleave unto him, depart not away. You're going to, a righteous man falls 7 times and rise back up again. So what's going to happen is there are going to be laws that you can keep, and you're going to have to stick to those. You can't keep all the laws. Not at this time, but they are going to be reinstated in the kingdom. So, and at this time, since we can't keep all the laws, we cleave to him and depart not away, but we keep the laws to the best of our ability according to our knowledge. And then you have to use a word called application, applying what you learn to your life. This is our salvation. This is our salvation. This is how we're going to get out of this place. Verse 4, and it reads, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient. Make not haste in time of trouble. Be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. So what does that mean? Oh, we got to be happy to have bad things because you know the Most High is done. I'm cheerful. No, it means to have fucking faith, man. It means to have faith. When bad things happen, you have to know that Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai is in the mix. He's dealing with it, and you're going to be saved out of it. And you will be saved out of it. And let's prove that too. So let's read verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire. There it is. Going back to this verse, it says, but 1/3 will be left in the land. I will bring that group through the fire and make them pure. I will refine them like silver and purify them like gold. Verse 5 in Sirach chapter 2 and verse 5. I had to build up to it to show you what it's really talking about, what that refining is, and it's learning how to live your life righteously. And it's telling you that. Cleave unto him, depart not away, take things cheerfully, be patient, make not haste in time of trouble, prepare your soul for temptation. Gold is tried in the fire. That's the fire. The fire is learning how to live your life right. And acceptable men in the furnace of adversity, adverse times. So if you think that there's not going to be a Jacob's trouble, you're delusional. You've lost your mind. You're gone. You're gone inside. You might not even. You might just be lost, and you need to have some correction, or you have a wicked spirit on you, or you're just not in the truth, and the Most High is not dealing with you. But, you could shake a wicked spirit if the Most High is dealing with you. That's the thing. But if he's just not dealing with you, you're just going to stick to what you think is the truth. And in the end, he's not going to deal with you. And that's a scary thing. So, back to it. I'm going to read 2 more verses out of Sirach, and then we're going to go back into And listen, this is how we're going to be saved out of Jacob's trouble. And that's what the title of this class is going to be. It's going to be something to that effect. How we'll be saved out of Jacob's trouble. So, for gold is tried in the fire, acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Now listen to this very carefully. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Ye that fear Yahweh, I told you back there, those are the ones that keep the commandments. That's how you cleave unto him. Oh, and then we got into the whole thing where you can't keep all the laws, statutes, and commandments, but there are the ones that you can keep. You do those. And when you fall off, you come back to it, and you stay away from the falling off as much as you can. I mean, a lot of people, we all fall off in the beginning, but the best thing you can do is just be excited about this truth and never look back. So, believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait on his mercy, and go not aside lest ye fall. And that's what it's telling you about. Make not haste in time of trouble. You can't go aside. In other words, when you go aside, you say, I can take care of this myself. Or I'm gonna go aside, oh, I can do this. It's not that bad of a sin. All sin is the same. It's punishable by death at the end of the day. You don't wanna you break one of the laws, you've broken them all. How's that? So you don't want to knowingly go aside and go away from the truth. Go aside and pretty much that's the best way to say it. To go away from the righteous path that you were put on. So go not aside lest you fall. Ye that fear Yahweh, believe in him, and his reward shall not fail. I tell you in every class, behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according as his work shall be. If you're gonna fear the Lord, that means you're going back to those commandments. So how are you gonna get saved out of Jacob's trouble? It's very simple. You're going to keep his commandments to the best of your ability, according to your knowledge, and you're going to apply what you learn to your life. You're going to study. So that means that by default, that means you're going to be studying. The women's are going to fall into order. These are the 1/3. The women are going to fall into order. The children are going to fall into order. The men are going to fall into order. That's how you're going to be saved out of it. So, I got to read 2 more on this because in Sirach, you've got to read through 10 at the very, very least. And I did say that that you could also you could shake a demon if Yahweh is dealing with you, because that means you're going to come back to the truth, because he's going to call you back to the truth. If he calls you back, you're going to come running back, guaranteed. That's why when Saul, I forget, he went over to deal with somebody, and he tried to get too close to the prophets. You know what he did? He stripped down naked and started prophesying with them. That's how I know that the Most High is dealing with us. Our reward shall not fail. Okay? Our reward shall not fail. We're always going to be protected. We're always going to be, like I say, when he calls us back, you're going to have to listen. Our reward shall not fail. And it's beautiful, because how are you going to be able to say that that's not true when you go into the book of Job, chapter 33, and I have to read it because it's beautiful how it actually reads. It's better than just trying to paraphrase it, because a lot of people will leave stuff out. So when you go to Job 33, starting at verse 14, because I said if Yahweh calls you back, you're going to listen. Now let me prove myself. This is Job chapter 33 and 14. For Yahweh speaketh once, yea, twice, but man perceiveth it not. So he doesn't know. Okay? In a dream, in the vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, in the slumberings upon the bed, he openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instructions, that he may withdraw man from his own purpose. If he calls you back. Wait a second, he just withdrew you from your own purpose. So what are you going to do? And hide pride from man. So he keepeth his soul from the pit and his life from perishing by the sword. So what I just tell you, if you got a demon on you and the Most High is done with you, you can shake that demon. He'll shake that demon because he'll call you back. And he'll withdraw you from the pride of your own life. And then he will save you from putting yourself into death. It's that simple. So I know what I'm talking about here. And all of the prophets that are out there on the highways and the hedges, they know this stuff. This is basic stuff. So like I said, the only people that he's done, but see now if you're getting called back, and how is it that, how can you, called back from what? Oh, the world? You mean the affliction? He's got to call people back out of Jacob's trouble. People are going to be bent over in travail. In other words, like, oh, no, I can't handle it. But hold on, there's more. So, let's go over to the book of Matthew real quick. Matthew, chapter 24, of course. Because how do we even know when it's going to be Jacob's trouble? Well, first of all, you're going to have people telling you, this is beautiful too. It says, and Yahushua, this is Matthew 24, starting at verse 4. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying that I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And that's one of the signs that it's part of the end times. Let's jump up to verse verse 23. Then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. So that's one of the signs that the end is near. You've got the real prophets out there. You've got false prophets. You've got Christians, Jehovah's Witnesses. You've got Buddhists. You've got Muslims. You've got Hindus. You've got Zionists. You've got Orthodox. You've got Masonic Jews. You got all these camps, and everybody's trying to bring out a little twist on their doctrine. You got 27 different types of Christianity. You got Catholics. So, verse 24. There shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, and so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. We're not fooled because we read the Bible. We read the Bible. We study this stuff. This is like, I used to have a really active life, a athletic life, doing a lot of stuff. And, I was a skateboarder at one time. So, going around, traveling, all that stuff. And when I read what this Bible said, I was done with everything. This is my pleasure. That's how I know you can't fool me. Because I love this more than anything that I've had ever in my life. Now, going back down to Matthew, let's stay in Matthew for a minute. Because we're trying to figure out how we're going to know when it's Jacob's trouble. So we know right now that there's going to be false Christs. And they're going to be telling you, come over here. No, go over there. And he's telling you, believe them not. Why? Because how are you going to find out when someone's a false Christ in the first place? Let me show you real quick. You guys are going to love this. Timothy 2:15. Oh, 2 Timothy 2:15. Now it's cold tea. We don't use grinded tea bags. We use actual tea leaves because that way we know we're not getting sticks and dirt and stuff. They do that with the coffee and ground tea, man. You can look into that stuff, man. I don't even touch that stuff. If my coffee ain't coming from a bean that I can grind myself or see it being ground, I'm pretty much not messing with it. Unless, like, last resort, of course. But everybody's got to, oh, come on. You don't want to give me the Bible Hub, huh? Oh, now you do. 2 pages deep. Okay, so. So, how are you going to, I was saying, how are you going to know all this stuff? And it's really easy. This is the King James Version, 2 Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself. This is 2 Timothy 2:15 in the King James Version. This is how you're going to be able to decipher over a false prophet or what time frame we're in or anything to do with this scripture. It says, study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh, a workman that needeth not be ashamed, rightfully dividing the word of truth. Now let's get a precept on that. This is oh, that's the Briest. This is a cross reference. This is James 1. This is James let's get 1 Peter 3:15, and then we'll move on. Now I just wanted to get a precept on study to show thyself approved. It's all over the Bible. It's all over the Bible telling you to study. But let's get 1 Peter 3:15. We never bring that one up. But in your heart, sanctify Christ as Yahweh. Christ as Lord. Always be prepared to give a defense to everyone who asks you the reason for the hope that is in you. But respond with gentleness and respect. Let me get that last part again. Always be prepared to give a defense to everyone who asks you the reason for the hope that is in you, but respond with gentleness and respect. You know what the hope is in me? That Jacob's trouble will get here sooner than we expected. That it'll be here sooner than we expected. For your salvation is nearer than you first expected. And I know a lot of brothers that could probably agree with that. And that's Romans 13:11. I think. Let me see. I'm pretty sure before I start calling stuff out. Well, it's doing it again. I don't know, is this a bad spot? Maybe this is the good spot. Hold on. Switch spots. Okay, this is Romans 13:11, going to the King James Version, and knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than we believe. So that means that Jacob's trouble is gotta be on the horizon. And when you look on the horizon, all you can see is the lights from the California fire. Unless you go over to the East Coast and everything is frozen. And what about North Carolina? Has anybody heard from them? Nah, forget about North Carolina. We're going in there with construction equipment, and we're going to dig up the land. That's what they're going to do in North Carolina. Not only is there there's lithium, I know that for sure, but there's another, and gold, of course, but there was something else that was really high, really It was high in another natural resource also. So these guys know what they're doing. Has anybody ever seen the cartoon movie with Pixar called Sunny with a Chance of Meatballs? What are they doing? They're slapping you in the face with it. They have a weather machine. And what happens when they have the weather machine? You know, he uses it to make food, of course, for fun, you know, for children. But he uses it to control the weather. Each type of food should represent a different type of weather pattern in my book. But going back to it, they lose control of the weather machine. And it destroys pretty much everything. And in that part of the world, they couldn't really go back in there anymore because the weather machine was still out of control. They had to end up figuring out a way to take it out without destroying the earth, pretty much. So, what's the point? Well, the point is our government has a weather machine, and pretty soon, when the Most High is finished building them up so they can think that they're God, sitting in the seat of God, let's get that too. They think that there's God sitting in the seat of them, God, calling themselves God. So they're building themselves up to, he's building them up to destroy them. And so, in that build-up, by default, we have to have Jacob's trouble because that's part of their plan too, is to take us out. So Yahweh's plan coincides with their plan to a certain degree. Both the scriptures and the prophecies are in agreement that there's going to be a depopulation. But they think that they're going to come in with their weapons. They're going to fight against space aliens, and we're going to take out these. Okay. So let's get 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4, King James Version. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called Yahweh, or is worshipped, so that he is as Yahweh, sitteth in the temple of Yahweh, showing himself that he is Yahweh. Who's doing this stuff? See, this is going to be the beginning of Jacob's trouble right there. He's already doing that. He thinks he's going to be able to actually beat he thinks he's going to be able to beat the Most High. And what does the scripture say about that? He shall stand against the prince of princes and shall be taken without hand. He shall stand against the prince of princes and be taken without hand. Oh, it doesn't want to show me that one, does it? No, it don't. No. Sometimes it gets. So, there it is. Oh, man. I should have remembered that. Daniel 8 and 25. But anyway, let's get it anyway. And through his policy, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. See that? So, through his policies, that's how he's building himself up. And that's how he's oppressing us at this point. I mean, we have to pay taxes for everything. And that's just like a tip of the iceberg. Just imagine, just for a second, I don't even have to give you a bunch of examples. Just think how you have to pay taxes on every single thing. And how when $1 goes from one person's hand to another person's hand, there is tax. That dollar continuously, perpetuously is taxed every time it exchanges hands. So, believe me, he's got a lot of policies. And that's just one of them. I mean, how about through his policy he shall cause craft to prosper? I'm going to give $500 billion more to Ukraine because they're fighting a war. California's burning down? I guess we can give them $770 as a one-time payout for the people that can prove that they were a part of the fire. Wow. $1 million houses, but I'm going to give you $700 from the government. Ukraine is way more important than us. You can tell that right away. So, now that we know that, he shall magnify himself in his heart. And there it is. showing himself that he is God, sitting in the throne of God, calling himself God. So, back to it. And by peace shall destroy many, because, well, you guys know how they do. I mean, $500 billion to Ukraine to what? For peace? For peace in Ukraine? To win a war? But anyway, moving on. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but shall be broken without hand. And there's the point. He's going to be sitting in the seat of God. The Most High is building him up right now. He's got his weather machine. I do believe that that thing's going to go out of control. It's already happened in Dubai. They had massive flooding in Dubai because they had the special weather machine to make sure that the weather was just perfect for them every single day. And that motherfucker broke, and they had a huge hurricane. That's why all those super expensive $1 million hyper and supercars and super rare luxury cars were all floating around and shit. Because their weather machine broke, just like I said in Sunny with a Chance of Meatballs. So anyway, going back into the point, this is the buildup right now. This is the buildup, but it says we're going to be saved out of it. Well, that guy said there wasn't even going to be a Jacob's trouble. But what I'm showing you, what Not just about Zakba showed everybody, is that we're going to be saved out of the Jacob's trouble. So we have to be in something to be pulled out of it. Let's go and get a couple more precepts and then I'm going to call it. 1 Corinthians chapter 10. And I don't know what this precept's going to be, but so let's read it first. And this is another thing. This is really important. I need to bring this out because first of all, we're coming into Jacob's trouble. So I got a little ahead of myself. Especially when we got into the false prophets and stuff. So we're coming into Jacob's trouble. And I told you we were going to go backwards a little bit because I told you that he was going to build himself up and destroy himself. And in doing so, I had to show you that he literally thinks he's God. And also, I had to show you that that by thinking that he's God in Daniel 8:25, that he's going to stand up thinking that he can beat the Most High. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. He really thinks he's going to win this war. And he's going to be taken out. And then I can show you that too, because that's going to be part of all this. And so let's go back into how we know that we're at the beginning of Jacob's trouble, okay? We've got to get that really quick. This is Matthew chapter 24, going into verse 7. Let's go back to Matthew. For a nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Okay? So, let's go backwards one. Verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars, rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. The end is not yet. We have to go through all these things first. So the bug out that Menachem Akbar was talking about, he is completely debunked. How are you going to go through trials and tribulations and all these other things, but but not be at the end yet? Let's jump up to verse 8. All these are the beginnings of sorrows. All these are the beginnings of sorrows. And it's going to get so bad that when you read verse 10, and then many shall be offended and shall betray one another and shall be hated and shall hate one another. So everybody's going to start fighting against each other. And I think it's verse 12. There it is. Verse 12. Let's jump up one more. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So people are going to literally just start hating each other. Neighbor against neighbor. And it's going to be neighbor against neighbor, kingdom against kingdom, nation against nation, realm against realm. It's the first time I got off early enough to do a class. No. This is what I was looking for. Zechariah 14 and 13. I should just go into the whole chapter, but I'm not. And this is King James Version. And it shall come to pass in that day. These are those last days. That a great tumult from Yahweh shall be among them. Ooh. And they shall lay hold, every one on the hand of his neighbor. And his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. You want to get it in the NLT? It's pretty short. It says, on that day when that they will be terrified, stricken by Yahweh with great panic. You know, Jacob's trouble, boy. They will fight their neighbors hand to hand because nobody's going to know what to do. So 2/3 of you and the other nation, you guys are just literally going to kill each other. Now, let me prove that we're also going to be part of this, but we're going to be saved out of it. So there's only one way. There's only one way out. I already showed you, and it was keeping the laws and commandments. And through this, before I show you how we're going to get out, we got to go through it some more. Because what they're going to do is they're going to tempt you. They're going to tempt you. This is what Jacob's trouble is all about, is tempting you to take this MOTB. That's what it's all about. Because at the end of Jacob's trouble, all those that endure until the end, the ones that don't get jabbed up or subdermally, biometrically, electronically subscribed to the new society so they can keep living. So they can keep their life. He that findeth his life shall lose it, but he that finds his life shall lose it, but he that loses his life for my sake shall find it. Oh, there it is. Boom, let's get it. This is Matthew 10 and 39. Let's go to the King James. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. Okay, that's Matthew 10:39. So what I'm saying is they're going to be tempting you. So if you want to keep your life the same way it is, you're going to have to fall into the hands of their temptation. So let's get that real quick. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and... let me start at verse 11. Let me start at verse 11. Okay? So, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 10, starting at verse 11. Now, all these things happened unto them for examples, and they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. So the things that are written were written for when the end of the world comes. So, and so if you want to read the whole chapter in its entirety, I would guarantee that you'll be edified. So we're going to keep going forward though. So verse 12, wherefore let him think that thinketh he standeth, take heed lest he fall. So in other words, a person that thinks that they're doing something great, you better be careful because you might fall. Verse 13, there hath no temptation. Now this is what I was talking about. You are going to be tempted in these last days to take this MOTB. And that's what this is all about. Anybody that takes the MOTB will be cut off from Yahweh and die. So, there hath no temptation taken you but such as common to man. So, everybody has the same temptations. You're not special, in other words. You're not got this special extra temptation. No, your temptation is common to man. And this is part of Jacob's trouble, like I said. This is the hour of temptation. And I will save you from the hour of temptation. So, the children of Israel that follow the instructions, like I told you, we're going to have a different spirit than the other people, so we won't take the MOTB. He's not going to pull us out off to the side. Okay, you guys wait over here while those guys... No. We're all going to have that same hour of temptation. In fact, I'm going to prove it. It's he's going to pull us right out of it. It says, Revelation 3:10, because thou hast kept thy word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world. So he's going to pull us out of that. But we're going to have to be there with it. That's how he's going to know that he's going to keep us from it, because it's going to be in our spirit. It's going to be in our spirit to how does it say, to depart not away, to cleave unto him, to be cheerful in thy low estate. In other words, no matter what they do, we're not going to fall into their trap. Okay? And so, let me read it one more time and then we'll move on. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep you from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth. All the world, everybody's going to get tried. And the ones that he's going to pull out of it are the ones that refuse to remove themselves from their righteous position, for the lack of better words. Now, going back over to verse 13 in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, there hath no temptation taken you but such as is common to man. But Yahweh is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. So if you're gonna, and what did I tell you in the first beginning, how we're gonna be saved out of this? The ones that keep his commandments. It's very simple. This is like a simple thing. This isn't a tough thing. So the ones that keep his commandments are going to be the ones that are able to bear it. Those are going to be the ones that he will not give you more than you can handle, and he'll be able to deliver you out of what you're in, because he's dealing with you. He's not dealing with the 2/3. The 2/3 are like gluttons in every way, shape, or form. They overindulge on everything. In fact, their most favorite thing is sin. I have one more verse that I'm going to bring out before I close out, because I keep telling you that we're going to be saved out of Jacob's trouble. I'm showing you all of this. If you don't understand it by now, I got to bring out two more things. and then I'm gonna show you that we're gonna be saved out of it. I'm gonna show you what the hour of temptation is, and then I'm gonna show you the consequences for the hour of temptation, and then I'm gonna show you how he's gonna deliver all the people that depart not away, that cleave unto him in time of trouble. Okay? So, first, let's go to the book of Revelation, because I showed you the hour of temptation. We'll be saved out of the hour of temptation, so we got to see what the hour of temptation is. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that have the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Okay? So that's the hour of temptation. When you're not going to be able to feed your family, drive your car, pay your mortgage, keep the water or lights on. You're not going to be able to buy food, clothes, shelter, anything. You will not, if you're not digitally subscribed to this new society that they're clearly burning places down just to get it started. They're clearly burning places down, and they've already showed everybody their plans. So, that's the hour of temptation right there. That's what we're going to be saved out of. But if you receive that, what happens if you receive it? Next chapter. Let's go to verse 9. This is Revelation 14 and... No, stop. Revelation starting at 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. In 13, it just told you that's how you're going to be able to live. That's the hour of temptation. How am I going to be saved out of the hour of temptation? How am I going to be able to feed my family? Well, I know one thing. If you receive that mark, you think that he that seek to save his life shall lose it. Matthew 10. So, and 39. So, wait, let me read it. This is the consequence. I told you I was going to show you the hour of temptation, and I'm going to show you the consequence. Will you please get down? Stop. No, stop. Get down. Get down. Sorry. Salakia. Sit. All right. Like I said, any man that worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or his right hand, that's the hour of temptation. That's Jacob's trouble. The whole purpose is to take us out, not only through that, but through other devices. But verse 10, and it reads, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into a cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So if I take a shot here, ooh, the Patron, now that stuff burns. It's a little bit. But this stuff, the Julio, I mean, they burn your throat when you drink them because it's so hot. So what you want to do is add a little chaser to dilute it. But he's saying that you're going to get the full, the mixture is going to be poured into the cup of his indignation, but, I'm sorry, you're going to get you're going to get you're going to drink of the wine of the wrath without mixture. So in other words, he's going to give you his full anger. So if you do fall into the temptation in that last hour, when I tell you in Sirach 2 and 1, if you come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Guess what that great last, that hour of temptation, prepare thy soul for temptation. If you're dealing with the Most High and you're keeping the commandments like I told you, he said you won't be tempted above what you can handle. So that MOTB ain't gonna bother you. There is one more thing I wanted to mention too. So I keep telling everybody we're gonna be saved out of this, and I bring this out a lot, but I'm not very clear with it. So when you go into Revelation 11 and 12, and they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither, and they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. So the reason why our enemies are watching us is because they're still fucking oppressing us all the way up until he comes and gets us. How is there no Jacob's trouble? But verse 13 it says, now this is almost like right when the Most High comes and gets us is the same time when they're going to be shooting off them nuclear weapons. Our salvation is going to be by the skin of our teeth. That's where we're going to be bent over, travailing, like, oh my gosh, oh, I can't believe it. Thank you. Oh, praises. Let's read verse 11. Verse 12. No, I'm sorry. Verse 13 again. I'm sorry. Verse 13. And the same hour was there a great earthquake. That's that nuclear, and a 10th part of the city fell. And the earthquake were slain 7,000 men. That's not 7,000 exactly. People, we keep telling you that every time. It means a complete number. They were completely destroyed. Not everybody, but everybody that was in that area was. How's that? So, and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to Yahweh of heaven. Because we're watching this. We make it by the skin of our teeth. We are being saved out of Jacob's trouble. But it's at the same time when you see the we're going to be in the chariots watching that. And we're going to be out here all the way up until that nuclear destruction. So, like I said, the name of this class is How Are We Going to Be Saved Out of Jacob's Trouble? And I showed you in the beginning that it was at the beginning of the class. At the beginning of the class, it was by keeping his commandments. So when you go through all of this, it says that the children were saved from the hour of temptation, those who kept his commandments, right? So, and that goes Revelation 10 and 3. Let me read that again. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth. So, we know now that the children of Israel are going to have the Holy Spirit on them, and there's no way that the Most High would let them get caught up in the MOTB in that hour of temptation. But with that hour of temptation being here, that's when we're also going to be saved, because we're going to be tempted. And during this time of temptation, there's all this fighting in the background that's building up with the other nations. When they finally get mad, and they are going to get mad, and they are going to turn their backs on America and betray her, and so they're going to go against her, and we want to talk about the patience and the faith of the saints when these these people the people that are their allies right now are going to be the ones that turn on them. And so you've already got the whole BRICS nation, but everybody's going to get tired of this whore riding on their back. In other words, so the whore that rides on the back of the great red dragon, well, America's just kind of like riding on everybody else's back, and we're taken from everybody else. Not me, but as America. So I shouldn't even say me, but all these other nations are seeing that. So that's going to bring us into that nuclear war that I'm talking about. And that's going to bring in our salvation. That's also going to be during Jacob's trouble. So we can't have a nuclear war without Jacob's trouble bringing us into the nuclear war. Plus, they got to be trying to put that hour of temptation on us. And you see what the hour of temptation is when you can't feed your family. You can't put a roof over your head. You can't drive your car anymore. And they're telling you this. This stuff no longer belongs to you because you're not digitally subscribed biometrically. So, in other words, something under your skin that lets them know everything that you're doing. Your goyim, your cattle, your sheep, your slaves. But anyway, going back to it. So, let's go ahead and jump over to Obadiah, because I said that all these nations are going to go against you. They're going to turn their backs on you. And you know what? We saw that happen to Biden with that prince in Iran, I think, when they were talking to wherever they get the oil from. But anyway, let's go to Obadiah 1:7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. This is going to bring us into that nuclear war. And prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Just like Trump. We're going to make America great again. There's none understanding in him. They don't realize that they're getting set up now. Now they're getting set up. And this is beautiful because we got the wars, the rumors of wars. We've got Jacob's troubles like right here. It's right here, right at the doorstep. All they have to do is keep pushing. There's no turning back pretty much. They're producing their cause. They're going to get to the point where they're feeling like, yes, we have accomplished our plan. But we've already gone over the thing where the ocean can't go over the sand. In other words, they can't go past a certain point. So they're not actually ever going to accomplish anything. In fact, let's go to Obadiah 1:16. The face of Yahweh is against them that do evil, to cut off the remembrance of them from the earth. So they're not really going to get away with it, but we are going to go through a lot. We are. We're already going through it right now. If you don't understand that, you got to be crazy. You got to be crazy to not understand that we're already going through it. We're already struggling. Everybody's struggling. And all them rich people, you see what they have to do just to get a buck. Any of you guys want to go to a Diddy party just to get rich? You're not going to be in the kingdom, guaranteed. So, I'm going to close out with this. This is Psalms 34, and starting at verse 19. And we're closing out here. And it says, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but Yahweh delivereth him out of them all. Woo! He keepeth all his bones, not one of them is broken. Evil shall slay the wicked, and they that hate the righteous shall be desolate. And the Lord redeemeth the soul of his servants, and none of them that trust in him shall be desolate. Do you see that? So the people that trust in the Lord are going to follow his instructions. And it tells you many are the afflictions of the righteous. So the guy, the bug out that was talking about, oh yeah, we're going to... We're not going to be in Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble is for those that troubled Jacob, which sounds stupid. Those that troubled Jacob. No, that goes into Isaiah 14:1 and 2. The Lord will choose Jacob and yet will choose Jacob, and the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel. And what he's going to do? He's going to make those captives whose captives they were. He's going to make them captives whose captives they were, and we're going to rule over our oppressors. That's what the ones that troubled Jacob. That's what's going to happen to them. But Jacob's trouble is for the Israelites. This is our hour of temptation. The other nations don't matter at this point. We already know their judgment. And with that being said, if you got eyes to see and ears to hear, I hope you got something out of this message. Shalom.